Tears, secrets and a final goodbye, Caitríona Balfe breaks down as Outlander ends. But what really happened off-camera? For more than a decade, she has been the soul of one of television's most beloved epics. A healer, a survivor, a woman out of time. To millions, Claire Fraser from Outlander isn't just a character, she's family. But now, as the final chapter closes, something unexpected has shaken the cast to its core. Because behind the sweeping romance and heroic farewells, there were tears, real tears. And according to insiders, not all of them were scripted. I cried, the confession that stunned fans. In a recent emotional interview, Caitríona Balfe admitted what many suspected but few expected to hear out loud. She broke down, not during filming, not in character, but after the cameras stopped rolling. I cried, she revealed, describing the moment she wrapped her final scenes. A simple sentence, yet one that has sent shockwaves through the Outlander fandom. Because this wasn't just the end of a show, it was the end of a life chapter. 10 years. Or an entire lifetime? When Outlander first aired in 2014, no one could have predicted the cultural storm it would become. Love, war, time travel, it had everything, but for Balfe, it was something far more personal. 10 years is a long time, but it feels like a lifetime, she confessed, a lifetime. Let that sink in. Over a decade of memories. Relationships forged under pressure. Emotions lived through characters that slowly became part of who they were. It's a quarter of my life, she admitted, and suddenly, this isn't just a goodbye. It's a loss. 9 months of emotional chaos. Filming the final season wasn't just challenging. It was relentless. Balfe described it as 9 months of emotional intensity. A draining, all-consuming experience that pushed her to the edge. Scene after scene, goodbye after goodbye, each moment carrying the weight of finality. And by the time the last shot was captured, there was nothing left to hold back. What really happened on the final day? Here's where things take a darker turn, because according to whispers from inside the production, the final day on set wasn't just emotional. It was overwhelming. Balfe described feeling disconnected, almost as if she had stepped outside herself. It felt like I left my body, she said. 7 versions of herself, watching, processing, struggling to keep it together. Not acting, not performing, just feeling. Her face, she revealed, even began to twitch, a physical reaction she couldn't control. I didn't even know my face could do that, because this wasn't just another scene. This was the end, when fiction bleeds into reality. For years, Balfe has lived inside Claire Fraser's world, loving, fighting, surviving. And in those final moments, the line between actor and character blurred completely. The words she spoke carried new meaning, not just for Claire, but for Caitríona, because every goodbye on screen echoed a real goodbye off-screen. To friendships, to routines, to a life that would never be the same again. Where did they go after it all ended? And then, silence. After the emotional storm, the cast scattered, each one seeking escape in their own way. Caitríona Balfe retreated into a quiet wellness break, a chance to breathe, to reflect, to process. Meanwhile, Sam Heughan reportedly disappeared into the Himalayas. Yes, the Himalayas. A dramatic escape for a man leaving behind an equally dramatic role. Sophie Skelton traveled to Africa. Richard Rankin? He learned to fly. Coincidence, or were they all running from something they couldn't quite face? the storylines that mirrored real life. As the series builds toward its final episode, the drama on screen has reached fever pitch. Secrets exposed. Identities revealed. Loyalties tested. From Captain Cunningham's betrayal to the emotional reunion between Brianna and William, every storyline feels heavier, more personal. Because for the cast, it is. Even characters like Lord John Grey and the mysterious Percy Beauchamp are entangled in revelations that echo the theme of identity, truth, and acceptance. And perhaps that's no accident, because just like the characters, the actors themselves are facing their own truths. The final twist. Was it really just emotion? Here's the question no one is asking, but everyone is thinking. Did Caitríona Balfe cry only because the show ended, or was there something more? Because insiders hint that the emotional intensity wasn't just about saying goodbye. It was about letting go of something deeper. A role that defined her. A journey that changed her. A version of herself that may never return. And when she said she wanted to, let it go in a healthy way. Some believe that wasn't just reflection, it was necessity. A legacy that can't be erased. As Outlander approaches its final episode, fans are bracing for heartbreak. But behind the scenes, that heartbreak has already happened. Quietly, privately, in tears that no script could ever capture, because sometimes, the most powerful moments aren't the ones written on the page, they're the ones that happen when the story finally ends.